Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I did a quick little live stream about winter hydration, a lot of questions I get about red light therapy, questions I get about leptin, and even a little talk about hydrogen and if it's necessary, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh, it's only for wealthy people. So we'll talk about it, right? This was done on Instagram Live, so I will say several times, comment or DM the word secret. You don't need to do that. I'm going to actually drop those links down into the show notes. And as of the time I'm posting this, I did have 10 offers available for my little pocket link, which is the Metabolism Rescue Bundle, which comes also with custom macros. I have 5 of those now remaining. So if you want to grab one of those, they'll be down in the show notes. But I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. There are also timestamps down in the show notes for you as well. And have a beautiful rest of your day. Hello, happy Sunday. We're going to talk about winter hydration tips, why you're more dehydrated in the winter. I've definitely noticed that I've had to up my hydration game because it's been unseasonably cold here where I am in Georgia, like really, really cold. So I've noticed a little shift in myself. I just wrote an article about this. So if you're on my newsletter list, it is in your inbox right now. If you're not on my list, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get that article. But I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. I'm just going to do a quick live stream, probably about half hour, because my son is out with his cousins and he'll be home. It's cold in California too. Man, yeah, I guess it's cold everywhere, unseasonably cold early in the US. I don't know about in Europe. According to my friend Dr. Sarah, who's staying with me, it's a bone-chilling cold over there and has been for a while. So we went hiking yesterday and it was like 40 degrees and she was wearing shorts. So yeah, not me. I was bundled up. So first thing I'm going to do is I have a little pocket deal going on right now and I sent it out to my newsletter subscribers. I checked right before I came on here. Nobody's bought any of them yet. It's for my Metabolism Rescue Bundle with custom macros at like 60% off. So there's 10 of those available. Comment or DM the word secret and I'll send you the link to that over. And I'll also send you my winter hydration article as well that I'm going to kind of talk through a little bit today. So just comment or DM the word secret to get that. And I'm going to type this on the screen for people who are just joining. The word secret. Like I said, nobody has bought one just yet. I'm going to have 10 available. Okay, let me pin that up there. All right. All right, so why do we have different hydration needs in the winter? I mean, there's many reasons for it. So we've got the colder, drier air that actually holds less water. We have changes in hormones that impact how often we pee, like our antidiuretic hormone shifts, vasopressin shifts, cortisol, melatonin, those shift, those impact how well your body holds on to water. We're indoors more under blue light, which actually can slow down mitochondrial function and create an issue where we're not making as much water. We can create dehydration from a lack of infrared exposure. And so we just have this perfect storm for more dehydration in winter. And it's not necessarily about just chugging water to fix this. You also want to support those master hormones, cortisol, melatonin, and leptin also, through keeping circadian health intact, which is what this whole page is about. So if you need to learn more about that, then just stick around. We'll talk about it more. So that's number 1, is really supporting those master hormones. Number 2, you do want to hydrate. You want to make sure you have good quality, clean water with minerals added back in. And I had a few people that submitted. I had my printer that is like the worst printer in the world. It took half hour to print these. So I have some of these questions that people submitted in a question box in my stories that I'm going to go through. But I had talked about hydration. I talked about just going over this and what's helpful for people. But if you want to, number 1, grab one of the 10 offers available for my Metabolism Rescue Bundle. It's like 60% off. And get my winter hydration article. You can comment or DM the word secret and I'll send over both of those for you. Because the winter hydration article is going to have a lot of links in there. It's going to have my free water guide also. It's going to tell you where you can get natural spring water in the US. It's going to have a water pitcher that's under $100. If you're not quite ready to get a full-on filtration system, which some people are not ready for that, it's going to have filtration systems in there and the minerals that I like. Now, I'm biased. I really like Quinton minerals. I tend to use the hypertonic just on a daily basis, on an everyday basis. Now, some people, they do better with the isotonic, which is about 9 times weaker than the hypertonic. But what we typically do here for hydration, and what I do, is wake up and I have about a vial of the Quinton, Quinton, and that's, again, on my winter hydration article. There's a link to that. And I have about a vial of that on an empty stomach. That's just the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning. Then I go outside. So I do that before I'm even getting any light. I just need to do that mineral shot. Now that can be too strong for some people, so you can go to the isotonic solution, or you can mix the minerals into your water. So I like to have some kind of minerals in every little bit of water that I drink. I don't typically drink any kind of plain distilled water or reverse osmosis water. I like to have minerals in it. You could also do lemon. You can also make your own Soleil water. In my free water guide, I have a little Soleil water recipe, which is somewhat similar to isotonic minerals. So it's just really important when you wake up in the morning to rehydrate yourself, because you've been sleeping all night. You haven't had any water all night. And so it's really important to do that. And you'll feel it. Someone in these questions, they had asked about headaches, getting more headaches when the weather's colder, and if that was related to hydration. And it could be. It could be. I don't know. You don't know your medical history. I don't know your full story, right? But it can be. I actually woke up with a headache in the middle of the night last night. And I have water on my bedside, and I just chugged water and it went away. I fell asleep. It went away. So yeah, you have to just kind of stay on top of your hydration needs a little bit more. Because I used to get really super dry, chapped lips every single winter, and then just adding chapstick never really fixed it, right? It was just I'm going through endless amounts of chapstick. So number one that's really important for winter hydration is really staying on top of circadian rhythms. So getting that really bright morning sunlight and then blocking the blue light at night. And then hydrating with those minerals with water in the morning when you wake up. That's really important. And something that can be really helpful in addition to the water, in addition to the minerals, is to structure your water. I use an Analemma water wand. I love those. That's in my water guide and it's in the newsletter. If you comment or DM the word secret, I'll send over the newsletter that's got that actual link in there and all my other water tools. So structuring water. You can also structure water with sunlight. Structure water with intention. I think that's really, really powerful. If you're like, I can't afford all these tools, I think we sometimes overlook the tools that are free and available to us, like sunlight and intention of the heart space. That can do a lot to structure your water. So don't always feel like you have to buy something. And then hydrogen can also be extremely helpful to increase hydration. So the hydrogen in the gut from SIBO and molecular hydrogen are two completely different things. The hydrogen you inhale goes into the bloodstream. It doesn't impact, and it's a completely different hydrogen than the hydrogen in your gut. It's two totally separate things. So it's not gonna, someone asked this question, if you're watching the replay, like, what is she talking about? They're not contraindicated. It can actually help support the terrain, because when someone's continually getting SIBO, that's a terrain issue. There's something going on where the body is more susceptible to SIBO. And so hydrogen can be a supportive part of fixing the terrain. Hydrogen can also help you increase cellular hydration. It helps to support exclusion zone water. It helps to support against radiation, that's really shown in the scientific literature, which actually decreases your cellular hydration up to 15%. So hydrogen can be extremely helpful. I'm going to do a live stream with Mateo from Axiom tomorrow at noon Eastern time. If you're interested in learning more about hydrogen, we're going to talk all about it. They're having a Black Friday sale that ends, I think, tomorrow. So I've got a post on it. We're going to do a live on it tomorrow. I talk more about hydrogen and how it can help to rehydrate the body, especially in wintertime, in my winter article that you can comment or DM the word secret to get that. Let me look through some of these questions. Someone wants to know how to properly use a red light panel, tips for new users. So red light therapy can actually also help with that cellular hydration, because what it does is it helps to create subcellular melatonin, supports the mitochondria, can move electrons through that electron transport chain more efficiently, so you make more metabolic water. So it can be really helpful, especially in wintertime. I tend to do a lot more red light therapy in winter than I do in summer, because summer I'm just really laying out in the sun a lot more. But if you're new to red light therapy and you've just got a panel, then my favorite thing to do is go in the morning to get, if your schedule allows, get natural sunlight first. Always get that natural signal in your eyes first. And remember, red light panels don't contain any blue light, so they're not going to actually wake you up. They're not going to properly stimulate cortisol in the brain. Maybe they will with the brightness, but you also need that blue signal for things to start to turn on. So I typically will, if someone's just starting off, have them do red light therapy in the morning after sunrise around that time. Because what that's been shown to do is really be very supportive of mitochondria. And you want to start off slow if you have never used a red light panel before, just to see how your body reacts. Some people, great, right? They can do 20 minutes and they feel fantastic. Some people are very sensitive. So some people, I'm one of these people, I can't do red light therapy after a certain point of the day, in the afternoon, evening. It will keep me up at night. So that's why when you're first starting off, it's safer to just do that in the morning. And then Dr. Glenn Jeffrey has shown a lot of benefits for the mitochondria around the sunrise time doing red light therapy. So I would start off slow, 2 to 5 minutes, pick an area. The benefits are systemic, which means if you do red light therapy, let's say on your thyroid, right, or on your belly, your whole body is going to get a benefit. So just pick an area, right? Maybe an area you want to focus on. A lot of people have thyroid issues. I'll tell them to do the red light on the thyroid and just do 2 to 5 minutes. And that's all you need to start off with. And then you can continue to play around with it. You know, a lot of people will say there's an upside down U-shaped curve with red light therapy, that you can do too much of it and it's going to negate the benefits. I clinically actually haven't seen that. I actually have not seen that happen. I've seen people that are very chronically ill just really take to red light therapy and it makes them feel so good. They'll do like an hour a day and it's massively helpful. I haven't seen that cause anything negative, really. The only time I'll see red light therapy, it can be too activating for some people. So that's again why I say don't start it off in the evening. Some people that are very chronically ill and they can have a paradoxical reaction to red light therapy. So they might get a headache because of what it's doing to that water system in the body, because it actually is creating more water inside the body. And so sometimes when your body is creating all that exclusion zone water, you start to detox, because what does exclusion zone water do by default? It excludes things. So that can create a little bit of a detox reaction. It's very rare, but it does happen. So again, just to answer this question, if you're brand new to red light therapy, then you're going to want to just go into it slowly, keep it in the morning time, and don't overcomplicate it. Just do 2 to 5 minutes on an area you want to focus on. And that's it. Super simple. I do have a red light therapy course that goes over this more in depth and kind of there's like 10,000 plus studies. And in my red light therapy course, I have a database to all those studies. So you can look them up and kind of go through them. That's under my Black Friday sale, which is linked in my bio under mini courses. Those are all 40% off through tomorrow. So if you want to dive deeper and learn more about red light therapy beyond like what I just said, which is super simple, then you can always get that mini course that's on sale for Black Friday. Okay. Someone says antidepressant withdrawal, HbA axis imbalance, insulin resistance, and cholesterol, 20 kilograms overweight. I would definitely, again, not medical advice. Nothing here is medical advice. That's a lot going on. I would consider doing something like my leptin reset, or at minimum, really focusing on getting your light dark cycles, especially with the HPA axis dysfunction and insulin resistance. Get your light and dark cycles on point. And I know I say that for like so many conditions, but the quickest way to fix HPA axis dysfunction is morning sunlight and blocking the blue light at night. Morning sunlight is this amazingly powerful signal that's going to talk to your brain. It's going to really turn the HPA, HPG, all these axes on. They actually speak directly to them. And so I actually was on about 10 different medications about 10, 11 years ago now. It's been many years, but I was put on antidepressants, SSRIs, I was put on Wellbutrin, I was on Ambien, I was on all these drugs until about my mid-30s when I just said, I'm done with this. I used a doctor to help me to come off of them, so I didn't just cold turkey it, but I just didn't want to be on these drugs anymore. I'd been medicated since I was a teenager. It was very hard. It was very, very hard. But I went on a paleo-style diet, so I eliminated processed foods, and that was all I did at the time. Now, had I had the circadian support, had I had the understanding and information about morning sunlight, I think that it probably would have been more easy. What I did do also was a lot of sweating. So I was really into Bikram yoga at the time. I would go in the 105-degree yoga class and just sweat as much as humanly possible when I was coming off all those medications. So now you couldn't pay me to go into a hot yoga class, honestly. I would just get in my sauna. I do my sauna 3-4 times a week. Love sauna, love sweating. So I would look at, in that situation, working with your doctor, because I'm not your doctor. I'm just here kind of giving information. But I would sauna, light and dark cycles, look at doing something like my leptin reset to help you with your nutrition and overall lifestyle. There's also hydration and deuterium information in there. That's on sale for Black Friday. It's like the lowest price of the whole year that I'm going to do all year long. And it's included in the Metabolism Rescue Bundle. There's 10 available. I don't know if any of them sold. I've left my laptop upstairs. But you can comment or DM the word secret for that link. But with all that, and that will also help with insulin resistance, because leptin resistance happens before insulin resistance. It's a precursor. So to fix insulin resistance, you're going to do the same thing that you would do to fix leptin resistance. It's very similar. Is opening a window in the winter for sunrise plus UVA enough to help the HPA axis? Is going to be very helpful, right? It's something is always better than nothing. And what I tend to do on these really super cold mornings is I have a screened-in patio. This morning it was raining and it was overcast. It was just awful. It was like 30 degrees. It was terrible. But I have a little heater that I put out there. And I just prop the heater in front of me, take a blanket out there, take my breakfast. I'll eat it outside. My son loves to come out. My 3-year-old loves to come out and cuddle with me. So that helps with exclusion zone water and warmth. But on those mornings where it's just unbearably cold, I literally will open up the door, just stick my head out the door for 30 seconds, and then close the door, come back in. Minute or two later, open the door, stick my head out the window, come back in, so you just get like hits of it. Sunlight is cumulative, so it just hits. You don't have to do continuous in order to get those benefits. Does berberine help with insulin resistance, or what about peptides? So berberine can help bring blood sugar levels down. Now, I tried to take berberine and it made me so sick to my stomach years ago. So some people, berberine, it can be massively helpful to bring blood sugar levels down. And peptides, that's one thing I'm not in the business of necessarily recommending at this time, but there are other doctors you can consult with about that. But I'm going to usually just recommend that people do all the things I talk about first before adding those things in, because even if you do add in a GLP-1, you still want to do the things I teach. So it's not going to contraindicate whether you do it or not. I'm still going to tell you to do the same thing. And it's actually going to be really helpful, because if you want to do a GLP-1, you want to have a healthy lifestyle. You want to fix your light environment, because you don't necessarily want to be on those drugs forever. So what are you going to do when you come off of them? You have to have a good solid foundation. So I teach the foundation. Everything here is foundational. It's not a shortcut. It's not a quick fix. It's a lifestyle and nutrition program that you sustain, right? I tried to do quick fixes. I tried to do diets my whole life and always would lose weight and then have 30 pounds that would just come and go. That I would just yo-yo up and down 30 pounds. It was miserable. It was absolutely miserable because I never developed healthy lifestyle habits. So that's what I teach here because I want people to develop those. Leptin of 17, insulin resistance, 17 is in my book not normal for leptin. 17 in my book, again, not medical advice, 17 is high for leptin. The range I look at is a lot lower than that for healthy leptin levels. So you can absolutely have insulin resistance and a leptin of 17. I've even seen insulin resistance with very, very low leptin. And that's just somebody who's like chronically dieted for a really, really long time and their body thinks they're starving. So labs can be all over the place. How do you test for leptin? It's a fasted blood serum leptin test. Now, my doctor, when I was trying to figure out fertility, wouldn't test my leptin. She was like, this is irrelevant. Like, you don't need to know this. And so I went and I bought my own leptin test and my leptin was like super, super low. And I was struggling with fertility and struggling with the extra 30 pounds. My body thought I was starving. So I wasn't making the hormones and my body wasn't okay to make a baby because my leptin was so super low. So you can get your own test if your doctor won't order it for you. You can purchase your own test. I have a link in my product guide that'll take you directly to a test you can purchase yourself. Is it safe to put a red light mask on face and closed eyes directly? Are there long-term safety studies available? I'm not sure if there, to be honest with you, I'm not sure if there are. I typically tell people to keep their eyes closed around red light panels just because it can damage the cornea. It can cause issues. So most panels are going to come with goggles. If you're using a mask, then it shouldn't hit your eyes. So I have a mask. Honestly, I don't really use it that often. I just would rather use my panel. But some people love the red light masks. I just honestly don't have one. Okay, let me look at some of these other questions people submitted. I think I got everything. Tips for lipedema. Again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm a huge fan of all the stuff I teach in the Leptin Reset because it actually helps your body to reestablish charge. And lipedema is a symptom of tissue and fascia that has lost charge, right? And so when we look at, everyone is talking about terrain, everyone's talking about building healthy terrain. It starts with getting your body to hold more water, getting your body to make more water, getting your body to essentially have more electrons, right? And less inflammation. So my leptin reset and then something like a vibration plate, red light therapy, those things can all be extremely helpful for lipedema. Now, I was diagnosed with stage 1 lipedema when I was going through fertility issues back in 2021. I was seeing an endocrinologist. You have to see an endocrinologist or someone who's like a vein specialist in order to get an actual diagnosis. And so I got diagnosed with stage 1 lipedema back in 2021, and I've been able to reverse it. A lot of people say you can't reverse it. I've been able to reverse it. So doing the stuff that I teach about, again, it was only stage 1. My mom has pretty severe lipedema and lymphedema. So there's a genetic component as well, but it's also heavily, building that charge, building that terrain back up in your body. And I do like the vibration plates. Someone says, I recently got a vibration plate and a rebounder. When is the best time to incorporate these into my day? So I would do rebounder in the morning. I would love to, rebounder, go outside. If you can take it outside and jump while sun's coming up, that's awesome. Get cortisol going, get that sunlight in your eyes, on your skin. And then vibration, you could really do those at any time of the day, but you can do vibration right before bed on a more gentle setting, and it can actually really help parasympathetic nervous system immensely. I actually did it before bed last night, and it felt really good. So I find a lot of people, they use the vibration plates before bed sometimes, and that can be really helpful. But if you only have a vibration plate, you don't have a rebounder, you can always do the vibration plate in the morning. after you have gone outside. It can also help with a gut motility issue as well in the morning. Red light therapy blanket recommendations. Bon Charge has a really great red light therapy blanket, and that I have a link for Bon Charge in my winter article. You can comment or DM the word secret and I'll send that over to you, but they have a great one. It's 25% off right now. Let me see some more of these questions. Grounding shoes. I have a whole section on grounding and grounding shoes, a couple brands that I like that I personally have in my winter hydration article. I'm not going to repeat it again of how to get that. Jolene, I've had some customer service issues with them lately, so that's why I haven't been recommending them. She asked about a company, and I have a large amount of people here, and when I start to get an email inbox full of customer service issues, I stop recommending a product. I'm like, I'm done. Okay. I let the company know, like, hey, these are all the issues that I'm seeing in my inbox. I don't like it. I don't like people complaining to me about a company I've recommended. It really is annoying because I try to only really recommend things that have companies that have really good customer service and quality products. And Jolene, that company has kind of really disappointed me in the last few months. So I'm not going to name it on here because of legal reasons, but if you're watching live, you can go up and see who's commenting and what they're saying. Because you can get sued for saying things like that. And I'm not trying to do that right now. Let me see some of these other questions. So yeah, someone wants to know about migraines and fasting being related to bad hydration. I mean, again, they can be. They can be. Someone said they want more unscripted videos with me and Sarah Pugh, Busy Superhuman. She's staying with me until the 11th. So we'll see what we can do. Do you use a cotton bed sheet with the Bon Charge heating blanket for sweat to be absorbed? Do you mean their sauna blanket? Because I don't have their sauna blanket, but I would not use I wouldn't use anything with the sauna blanket. I used to have a sauna blanket and I ended up selling it because I just felt like it wasn't effective enough. And I moved into this house and we actually had space for a sauna and I had saved up for a sauna. So in 2022, when we moved here, I got a Sunlighten sauna and I really like it a lot. And I sold my sauna blanket because I just felt like I never really got sweaty enough. So, and I love the sauna that I have now. So I wouldn't use anything with it. Inflammatory, honestly, I think hydrogen, inflammatory vasodilation issues, I would look at hydrogen, inhalation. Any tips for jet lag? It's been 10 days. Really getting bright light in the morning, right? That's going to be, and blocking the blue light at night, and also creating a really solid evening wind down routine. You know, warm bath, far infrared, like a fire, or I have my biomat that I lay on every single night. Really making sure you're getting that really bright light in the morning and then eating something right after you get that sunlight in your eyes. Working on hydration, grounding, geolocating yourself in the morning as well and during the day as often as possible. Really just trying to get outside. If you have bad jet lag, really trying to get outside and do some actual grounding as early in the morning, early in the day as you can to just anchor that circadian rhythm back in. Is the Spring Aqua enough for hydrogen, or would we still want a hydrogen machine? So I have a Spring Aqua as well, and it does make hydrogen water right out of the faucet. It still makes it. I got mine in 2023, and it still makes hydrogen water just perfectly out of the faucet. So for drinking hydrogen water, you don't necessarily need an extra hydrogen machine beyond the Spring Aqua. But we have seen a lot more benefits of hydrogen from actually inhaling the gas. So that's where a generator would come in, is that you would, if you want the benefits of inhalation. Now, people are always like, and I'll talk with Mateo from Axiom tomorrow. We're going to do a live stream tomorrow, I think at noon. I got to check my calendar, but I think it's at noon Eastern time. When you look at benefits of hydrogen, there's specific benefits for inhalation and there's specific benefits for drinking the water. When you look at the inhalation, there's a lot of brain inflammation, a lot of lung inflammation, a lot of mast cell activation. All of those are really, really good for the inhalation benefits. So go to PubMed if you want to kind of study this yourself. Go to PubMed, type in hydrogen inhalation study, and you can see all the different conditions that have been studied with hydrogen inhalation that have been improved. And then you can do the same thing with hydrogen water and see there's, I think, over 2,000 studies now on hydrogen. It was developed as a therapeutic intervention in 2007. So it's just been studied in the last, 19 years or so. And I'm sure more and more and more will come out. Best recommendation for sinus, brain inflammation. I know I sound like a broken record, but hydrogen inhalation. I would also look at supporting the cell membrane with something like Body Bio PC, using something like that again to stabilize the cell membrane, doing stuff like sauna, detoxing. Let's see. Are you an excessive water drinker? What kind of question is that? No. Are copper pipes good to put in your house? I mean, I think they're great. Let's see some of these other questions. I do have to go soon because my son's going to be back from playing with his cousins. Winter sun, timing tips when you get no vitamin D, how much skin to expose in the winter. I mean, there's benefits for the brain and hormonal system through eyes and through skin. So POMC is this protein that's activated through sunlight. You get it from skin, and you also get it from the eyes to go into those POMC neurons. So I always say in winter, primarily you're going to get more exposure through your eyes because it's going to be too cold to do a lot of, sun exposure in the winter. But if you, just the basic stuff in the winter, your circadian rhythm protocols are going to be very important. The things in my hydration article that I just did are going to be very important, like far infrared, near infrared, all those light exposures, and really keeping those things intact, because in winter is more about making melatonin than it is vitamin D. Summer is vitamin D season. Winter, you want to protect and kind of build up those melatonin stores, because melatonin can actually bind to the vitamin D receptor and does very similar things for the immune system and for your overall health. And so we end up being very deficient in melatonin overall, because we try to live in this perpetual summer, keeping overhead lights on and heat on. No, nothing wrong with heat. I'm going to have mine on. You better believe it. But we really kind of keep our body in this perpetual summer mode quite often. So how to increase leptin levels. So you're going to have to do a lot with nutrition, because a lot of my really low leptin people are very addicted to low carb and fasting, and we have to get them out of that. So there's a methodology to that, which I really go through in my 21-day leptin reset, which is on sale for Black Friday. It's the top link in my bio, or you can comment or DM the word secret and I'll send you the link over. But you also have to look at nervous system regulation as well, because a lot of my low leptin people, and I used to be one of them, I couldn't get pregnant and I was 30 pounds overweight, even with very low leptin. You have to work on the nervous system and nervous system regulation. So that's very, very important as well. So lifestyle is important, circadian rhythms are important, nutrition is important. You have to kind of slowly bring the carbs back in, and you'll, with that, take the fat grams down. So a lot of people say, I gain weight every time I eat carbs. Well, carbs and fat are energy levers. So if carbs go up, fat goes down. Same thing, if fat goes up, carbs have to go down, right? And protein stays constant in both of those. So that's something that's really important when it comes to energy balance, is if you're going to bring carbs up because you have very low leptin, because in the scientific literature, fat doesn't significantly increase leptin unless you are overfeeding, right? It's not going to bring it up. Even if you're overfeeding, it's not going to bring it up as much as if you would just eat some carbs. Tools for nervous system regulation. So light and dark cycles are really important for nervous system regulation as a basic. If you want an actual program, my friend Irene Lyon is having a sale on her nervous system tune-up right now. I think it's like $100 off, maybe even more than that. And there's a link in my product guide in my bio. If you go to my product guide, there's a link for that. I think if you scroll to the last page, and I think that's on Black Friday right now. How do you know if you have low leptin? You would have to do a fasted blood serum leptin test. Best program to buy for Hashimoto's would be the 21-day leptin reset. That's really going to be the one that I have the most testimonials. If you go to my testimonials highlight, and then even the pinned post at the very top of my page, I have people who have brought their antibodies down and they've lost weight using the leptin reset, because it can make weight loss more challenging. But the 21-day leptin reset is going to really be the best for Hashimoto's. And then you can also add a red light therapy protocol in there as well. That could be really helpful. I know I'm missing some of these questions, and I'm still trying to go through some of these that came into my stories. Oops, I just dropped it. Let's see. Someone wants to know about how can they work on bringing joy into their life. I mean, honestly, for me, and I talked about this on a post I did earlier today, to really get a transformation, because like I mentioned before, I've been 100 pounds overweight multiple times in my life. I've lost 100 pounds 3 times in my life. I was really overweight as a child. Now here at 46, I'm the leanest I've ever been, even leaner than I was in high school, and I don't feel stressed about it. I don't feel like a stress case. I enjoy my life. And one of the things that I had to do in order to really make that shift and transition, and that was also going through multiple pregnancy losses and going through just like a lot of stress in my life, was changing my mental programming and the thoughts I was thinking, you know. And I know that sounds like woo-woo and like, oh, great, now we got to change our thinking, but it is part of it. So in my 21-day leptin reset on day 12, I have a whole lesson about this. And when I do private coaching with people, I'll say, you need to go do day 12 before anything else. You need to listen to this lesson, and we need to create some daily things for you to be doing to help to restructure and reprogram your mind. And honestly, just a simple thing I did was listen to what resonated for me at that time that was positive, and that helped me to change the thoughts about myself, the way I thought about my body, the way I thought about my health. And Louise Hay was who was resonating with me at that time. Now I listen to other people. Now I'm kind of going through more Bob Proctor. I'm going through Neville Goddard, Alan Watts. I'm kind of going through some other ones. I rotate through. But I'll often keep, headphones in, wired, of course. And I'll listen to things where if I'm really negative or I'm really down on myself, or I have these thoughts where like, oh, you're always going to struggle with your weight and you're always going to have these health problems and blah, blah, blah. And like, I feel those negative voices start to creep in. I will just change it. Like, oh, we got to listen to Louise. All right. And I would go outside walking for hours when I was trying to get pregnant and I was just trying to make all these changes. For hours, I would just listen to Louise in my ear, like all the time. And she's got some great books, and audio stuff as well. So that's who I started with. But I also listened to some Wayne Dyer. And it's foundational because I can teach you sunlight. I can teach you food. I can teach you deuterium. I can teach you hydration. I can teach you all these things. But if up here, you're still like negative spiraling and I can't, and I'm never going to lose weight and nothing ever works and everything sucks. Guess what? It won't, and it will. End of story. So that has to be part of this as well. Once we purchase the 21-day leptin reset, does it expire? No, not unless you buy the 60-day access, but that's not on sale for Black Friday. So right now, what's on sale for Black Friday with the leptin reset is the same price as 60-day access. So the one that's on sale, you get lifetime access, which means anytime I make an update to the program, you get it. So the people who bought the program originally in 2022, when it first came out, they've gotten a whole new program. I added stuff as recently as a couple months ago. I added like a 13-page thyroid ebook, an estrogen dominance ebook. I add stuff to that program. I redid the whole nutrition section. I do that often because I get feedback from my members and I get questions in my inbox. I'm like, I need to update that. And so if you get the leptin reset now for Black Friday, you get any updates that I add in the future. How about tips for overeating? Find when not eating and then I start having a hard time stopping. That's a leptin issue. So if you have to fast, right? I did that. That was me when I was doing carnivore. I was like, I'm fasting. I've been great at fasting. I did a 7-day water fast and somehow ended up heavier a couple of months later. Like, who does the 7-day water fast and then ends up like a lot heavier a couple months later? Me. Actually seen that quite often. And so fixing leptin. So leptin is going to signal the glucose insulin axis. It's going to signal satiety. It's a satiety hormone, but it does a lot more than just satiety in the body. But fixing leptin has been immensely helpful, not only for me, but for tons and tons of my clients that always felt this like overeating thing. And in the leptin reset, I have an emotional eating lesson as well, because a lot of it can be emotional eating. And that's also part of the reprogramming process. Is like, number one, we have to fix the hormonal system that's causing you to have the appetite issue. And number two, we also need to look at what's going on in here. You know, what is the hole that I'm trying to fill with the food? Like, what is this, you know? It can be a tough one. It can be a tough one. And it did take me many years to be at a place where I'm like, if I could eat that, but it's still not going to make me feel better. It's still not going to fix this problem. If I overeat to the point where I'm feeling sick and I eat something that makes me feel bad, that's going to make this problem I'm having right now in my life worse. And it took me a long time to get to that place. And some people never get to that place. Some people just, they can't break that loop and that cycle. But that's where fixing the hormones that really control satiety are very important. So that's why fixing your leptin is really going to be important when it comes to someone who's like prone to overeating, prone to binging, prone to those things. And there are certain foods when you're doing a leptin reset that I just take off the table. I'm like, we're just not going to have those right now. We can add them back in later. And it's not a super restrictive diet. It's not keto. It's not carnivore. You have whole foods, good foods, healthy foods. But sometimes I'm like, that it's a binge trigger food. Let's not eat that right now. Let's get your body to reset. Let's do a leptin reset. Let's reset these hunger hormones. And then I'm going to support you with these other tools as well to help you reprogram your brain, your mind, your thoughts, nervous system, without spending $1,000 on a nervous system program. Because there are some good ones, but I think you can do a lot of really simple things to support yourself as well. Oh, there's more questions. If hydrogen is so crucial for our mitochondrial health, why is there no natural mechanism in the body provided? Your body does make hydrogen natural, absolutely. It does make hydrogen naturally. And, you know, it's a therapeutic agent. So it's something that is there. It's something that is available. You don't have to do it. For us, it was something that I added because my daughter was about to be sent away to a mental institution for PANS PANDAS for autoimmune condition. And so I was like, well, I'm going to break the bank spending money on this hydrogen machine, or I'm going to literally send my daughter away to a mental institution where they're going to put her on psychiatric drugs, because I knew she had autoimmune encephalitis. We had 2 spinal taps, but their best bet was psychiatric meds and, you know, IVIG, which our insurance would never even pay for. It's like 40 grand a shot. So, you know, no, hydrogen generators are not cheap. For us, it was a therapy that we could add in. Now, the body does make hydrogen naturally, absolutely. But to do a therapeutic intervention, that's what it's for. Is it something everyone needs to have? No, absolutely not. But for us, where we were at that point, yes, it was a no-brainer for me, and it worked. Thank God. I'm so glad it worked. Having trouble gaining weight during breastfeeding phase. Breastfeeding, honestly, a lot of women just don't need to worry about weight loss as long as they're breastfeeding. Now, if you want help, if you need structure, we have the leptin reset. You can get custom macros. We can actually help you to dial this in so we can stop the weight gain and slow things down and even help you to lose some weight. But breastfeeding, you're supporting a baby. Your sleeping is not so great, right? This is also where the circadian health comes in, and I do have special protocols for moms that are in that situation as well. But it's a tough time. It's a tough time. So you got to give yourself grace. Again, if you want to stop the weight gain, we can help you with the leptin reset and with custom macros, abso-friggin-lutely. But give yourself some grace because you're feeding a baby and your body has done a huge job to make a baby. You're not getting great sleep. It's very stressful to be a new mom. So again, we can help you, but I also want you to give yourself some grace for gaining a little weight right now during this time. Let's see if there's any more questions. I do have to go really soon. Oh, thank you for that sweet comment. Oh, if you can't gain weight, yeah, again, I have low leptin macros in the leptin reset. So that's not able to gain weight is also a leptin issue. Now it's a lot more rare because most people, when you walk around in the US, you look around, most people are overweight. But I have had people who have had issues gaining weight do the program as well. We start with the low leptin macros. And so that's something that can be very, very helpful as well. Let me see if I can get through any more of these questions. Sorry if I missed your question, but I think I got them. I think my printer didn't print all of them. So I apologize if I didn't get to your question. How do I consume the Keton isotonic alone or in water? I think I answered that earlier. I prefer to take a shot of my minerals on an empty stomach when I first wake up. That just, for me, energizes me, feels really good, and then I'll put a little bit in my water throughout the day. So that's what I typically do, and everyone kind of has to figure out their own thing. Typically, you're really dehydrated when you wake up in the morning, so taking a shot of minerals, either the hypertonic, which is what I do, isotonic if you need something a little more gentle, or you can even make your own Soleil water. That's going to be helpful. And then just drink your regular water throughout the day. So, all right. Well, my son's going to be home any minute now. If you want I don't know how many of those are left because I don't have my laptop in front of me. The Metabolism Rescue Bundle, I had 10 of those offers available. It's like 60% off. It's a pocket deal. Plus my winter hydration article I just wrote, brand new article. Comment or DM the word secret. I'll send you those links over. My Black Friday sale on Leptin Reset ends tomorrow if that's something that you have been wanting to get. If you get it now, you get all the future updates in the future. So again, anyone who bought my program back in 2022 has gotten a whole new program. So I don't recharge you to get the same thing. I could, but I like to take care of my students that way. Like if you're here to learn with me, if you've invested with me, I'm going to keep supporting you for the long haul. And I hope that if you have the program, you bought it 2 years ago, I hope you're still doing it. I hope you're still keeping these practices going in your daily life because it's going to help support you in the long term. Because this is not a quick fix diet. It's not quick weight loss. This is a lifestyle program that, number one, is you're going to enjoy it. Most people get to do this stuff and they're like, wow, I enjoy this so much. Like my life is just opened up. And that's how I felt when I first started doing this stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so good, So it's something you're going to want to do long term. It's not something you do for 21 days and then you just throw it out. That kind of crap never works. That's why I gained and lost weight and gained and lost weight and gained. That's why people yo-yo diet and gain and lose weight, because they do a program for a month. Let's do the master cleanse. The cabbage soup diet. Jenny Craig. I mean, I could name off all of them. I've done all of them in my 46 years of life. And yeah, I'll lose weight. But guess what? As soon as I'm off that cleanse, as soon as I'm off that diet, the bad habits roll back in, the foods roll back in, and the wheels are off and the weight comes back on and then some. So this is not what I teach. That's not what I teach. That's not what I do. I want to teach things that you can continue to implement every single day. So, all right. Thank you everyone for joining. And I will be back on live tomorrow with Mateo from Axiom to talk about hydrogen. Again, someone said it's only for wealthy people and blah, blah. No. It's not, you don't have to have it to live, right? Our body makes hydrogen naturally. It's a therapeutic intervention you can add on if you need extra mitochondrial support, period. So Don't feel pressure like you have to have it. Is something that you can add in there. You don't have to. What do I always say? Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Okay. Hope everyone has a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you again tomorrow live at noon with Mateo.